Hi everyone, today's video is about VoiceThread. VoiceThread is a great digital tool to help students engage in speaking and listening skills without the pressure of doing it in front of their peers. This is a great tool that can be embedded directly into a Canvas learning management system if that's what your district uses. And it allows students to record their response to a question that you've posed or a class discussion, but delete that recording if they don't like it and record it again before any of their peers have the chance to listen to it. Let's take a look.
Essentially, a VoiceThread is a way for students to engage in speaking skills through the virtual world. This is an example of a Canvas page I gave to my students. I gave them a short story about young Lancelot, and then my directions here say to add 2 voice comments with or without camera to the VoiceThread below. This window here shows my VoiceThread that I've embedded on my Canvas page. For this assignment, I gave them some student choice. I said that you can respond to either slide 1 or 2, and it says please hit play on each slide for additional directions from me. So students can then come here, they can put this into full screen mode.
Hi students, this is a virtual discussion, so that means that you will be using your mics with or without cameras for today in order to post a comment.
So you can see that when I put it into full screen or hit the play button here, this comment that I have preloaded automatically plays. So then students can hit the next button to go to the next slide. So essentially a VoiceThread is just a PowerPoint or Google Slides presentation that students can then comment on through either their video, voice, or a text comment, meaning that they write something in. For students who have camera issues or mic issues on their computers, there's actually an option that they can call in using their phone and just say their comment aloud, and then that will populate onto this VoiceThread. And of course, it will not show their number or phone number to anybody. So on this VoiceThread here, my example shows that I put 2 discussion questions about what is a hero. So I began this thread by giving some directions, and then students went and responded to it. So I'm going to hit play so you can see what the end product of a VoiceThread would look like.
This is slide number 1. Please be sure to post a voice comment answering the questions on this slide. If you are responding after other students have already responded, feel free to talk and reference to what previous students have brought up.
I think a hero is someone who helps others.
So as you can see here from the examples, students like this one are able to respond to students who previously spoke, because as soon as a student posts a comment on a VoiceThread, it is available for the whole class to see. And if I don't click onto the next person, it will automatically go through the list and hit play. So down here on the right, there was another slide that students answered questions, and there was a third slide as well. So now let's go into the back end of seeing how to actually set one of these up. To set up a VoiceThread, you're going to go to voicethread.com. As a teacher, you can enter your school email address or your personal email address. Since I've already made an account, I'm going to click sign in. This is my home dashboard with all of the different VoiceThreads that I've made. You'll notice I have some duplicates. This is because I have assigned the same VoiceThread, but designated one for period 4 versus period 2. To create a VoiceThread, you're going to click on the Create button. You should have already created a PowerPoint or Google Slides presentation. I found that uploading it as a PowerPoint is better than uploading it as a Google Slides. So if you have a Google Slides, you might need to save it to your desktop as a PowerPoint. You click Add Media, open up your computer, and then you're going to choose the file that you want. And then title your VoiceThread. And I'm going to put demo, since this is a demonstration, and hit save. VoiceThread will take a minute to process all of the slides in your PowerPoint presentation. The longer the presentation, the more time it will take. So for this, I have just 2 slides. Now what I can do is click on the comment button, and it will pull me into my VoiceThread. So this is the first slide of my presentation. What I'm telling students here is that we are going to conduct a virtual Socratic seminar. So if you hover down here at the bottom, there is a plus button that says make a comment. I then have the choice to click on a camera, just a mic. I can phone in, so VoiceThread will actually call my cell phone and I can answer the call and speak my voice, and then it will show up here. Or I can just simply type in a comment using my keyboard. I have not actually used this option which says to upload a comment. So typically what I do is either use the camera or the mic. Let's do this for an example. Pretend that this is my perfect comment that I want to save. I'm going to hit stop recording. I'm going to hit save. Since I uploaded a picture in my profile that you can get to from up here, I have an image that displays with my comment. And so if you hit play now on this slide, my comment will play.
Pretend that this is my...
All right, so now I'm going to hit the right arrow to go to the next slide. So maybe my directions for this slide when I hit the mic would be something like this. Hi students, pick one of the questions on this slide to respond to. Make sure that when you are recording your comment that you have listened to the answers and responses your previous peers have given, so that way you can express agreement and disagreement with what they've said before you. Thank you. I can then save this comment. And then when students come to this slide, they will hear my directions that are right here on the slide for them. So now I'm finished setting up my VoiceThread. I'm going to click on this exit button, and I'm going to go back to the share button right here. So the best way to do this is to actually click Embed and copy the embed code, which you would then paste into your Canvas page. So now what I'm going to do is open up a Canvas page and pretend that I am building this from scratch. All right, so I just opened a completely blank page. I use City Labs, so I'm just going to quickly add a theme here. So in City Labs, you're able to add a content block, and this is where we're actually going to work. So I probably want to give students some type of directions, such as create a VoiceThread account by going to voicethread.com. So those are pretty simple directions. You can obviously embellish as you need to. So next I'm going to hit enter. And remember that I've already copied this embed code from VoiceThread, the website. And now when I'm on Canvas, I'm going to use the City Labs tool for embedding, which is the best way to embed your content. So in City Labs, which if you don't have it open, you get it by clicking on this little rocket ship or hitting Alt-Shift-D. You click on Add Advanced Elements, and there is an Embed Content option right here. So all I have to do is click in and paste that embed code and make sure that my cursor, I'm going to hit Insert at Cursor, so I want to make sure my cursor is at the right spot on my page, and then I click that button, and my VoiceThread is right here. If I hit Save, I can see how it looks. And it automatically centered it on my page as well. So students would be able to just click onto this page and read your directions. And the first time students come here, they are going to have to set up an account. To do that, they're going to have to go to voicethread.com and click register. VoiceThread will require them to click on a link verification from that email. So if they put in a school email and they don't know how to access that email, then you might just want them to put in a personal email address instead, or you could just do a tutorial for the whole class on how to access their school email. When I did this, I found that students, when they clicked on the verification link, some of them did get an error message that their login did not work, But if they then clicked sign in anyway, regardless of that error message, it worked just fine. So once students set up an account, they never have to come to voicethread.com again. They just need to make sure that they're logged into it on their browser. Now they can come to your Canvas page and they can put this into full screen. And they can just click to the slide, listen to my directions, and they will have this option here to add a video or a voice comment or text or use the phone feature. And that's how students engage with this. So because students are not going to VoiceThread, they are not making their own personal VoiceThread on the website. Because they're not doing that, they are all responding to the class embedded VoiceThread right here on Canvas. So the hardest part for students is really to create that login. And then once they've done that, as long as they're logged in on their browser, they will be able to use this effectively. So hopefully now you can see a good way to use VoiceThread in terms of engaging students in speaking skills. And it also gives you as the teacher the opportunity to provide students with specific feedback about what they are saying. In class, we don't really have that option because of how quickly things move and we're facilitating discussions. So this is truly a really good tool that I plan to continue using even when we are not fully virtual.